there should be a general election now, and I think many people share our view. It's clear the Conservatives don't trust the British people. They're not going to give the people the say they want. And when I talk to people, they're absolutely furious about that.
Been doing well in the polls after the government's troubles. What of their opposition colleagues, the Lib Dems? They're up in the polls too, but not by much, especially given the chaos of the last few weeks. So why is that, and how can they change it? Let's speak to their leader, Sir Ed Davey. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Would you have expected, with all the craziness that has been going on over the last couple of weeks, in fact, really since July, really, to have done better in the polls than you have?
I think the polls are saying people don't want the Conservatives, and there's been a really big anti-Conservative swing in those polls. But when people have had the chance to vote in elections, whether it's council by-elections over the country, whether it's the 3 parliamentary by-elections in the last 60 months, or the local elections last May, you've seen Liberal Democrats outperforming our poll rating and doing extraordinarily well. Let's remember, we won those 3 by-elections in heartland Tory areas, and we performed better than any of the parties in terms of gains at the last set of local elections across the UK. So that record of actually outperforming the polls in real elections, I think, gives me some cheer for the future. Of course, I want to do more and to put forward our positive alternatives, our proposal for a fair deal for the British people. And I'm looking forward to the election when I'm able to do that. I just wish the general election was coming soon.
When you say soon, what do you mean? Because obviously there are many people who say they want a general election now because they want to vote in. They want to vote in the Prime Minister. Or, it doesn't work like that, does it? And we have to accept that the Prime Ministership, for whatever reason, it was their own issues that got handed from Boris Johnson to Liz Truss and now to Rishi Sunak.
Well, you're right. But that doesn't stop Liberal Democrats believing there should be a general election now. And I think many people share our view. It's clear the Conservatives don't trust the British people. They're not going to give the people the say they want. And when I talk to people, they're absolutely furious about that. So you're right. It doesn't look like we're going to get a general election. And given the Conservatives have trashed the economy, putting hundreds of pounds on people's mortgages, I guess one's not surprised that they're scared of the British public.
Do you expect a return to austerity, or whatever we want to call it this time, under the new Prime Minister, the sort of austerity that you were part of when you were in that famous coalition in 2010 to 2015? We know there's not really any money kind of swishing about, and that there is...
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you. Ed Davey, can you hear us?
No, someone else is trying to get in. I don't know who it is.
Right. Okay. Well, that's a bit of a problem. Let's just see if we can fix that. Can you hear us now? Apologies.
I can hear you for now perfectly. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you expect a return to austerity under the new Prime Minister?
Well, there shouldn't be a return to those types of cuts. I mean, the reality is the government could raise the windfall tax properly. They could raise tens of billions of pounds. They could also reverse the tax cuts for the banks. The bank levy has been cut and taxes on banks have been cut since 2015. There are literally tens of billions of pounds open to the government if it chose to use them. And that could be used to protect our public services, our NHS, our schools, and it could be used to protect the most vulnerable in society. That's certainly what Liberal Democrats would propose. And that would mean that we would continue to be able to grow our economy, and we wouldn't see the pressure on mortgage rates, which we've had under the Conservatives.
Finally, this is a historic day, is it not? We have our first British Asian Prime Minister, which is something that, I mean, many people have written about this. Satnam Sanghera has written about it in the Times, that, it's a day that many people thought they would never see. Do you kind of understand the historic nature of the day?
Oh, totally. I mean, politics aside and my differences with Rishi Sunak aside, it is great that we have the first British Asian Prime Minister. And I hope that there will be lots of young people out there who will be inspired by that. I hope they join the Liberal Democrats, but what I'm keen that they do is get involved in British politics. Our country has shown that there is a place for people from all backgrounds, from all communities. And I think that is the strength of of British politics now. So on that regard, I'd certainly welcome it.
Okay, Sir Ed Davey, who is leader of the Lib Dems.